In this raw, uncut walk-along video, you witness the moment where I miss one of the most iconic landmarks on the Pacific Crest Trail.
Timberline Lodge. Had a very, very good breakfast. Hats off to a person named Cara who works there. She gave us all the best, most impeccable service, and she really took care of us in there. So hats off to her. It looked really busy, lots of hikers, lots of tourists, so couldn't be more thankful for that. So now I just left Timberline Lodge about 3 miles ago, and I've only got about 40 miles to Cascade Locks. So yeah, just cannot believe that Washington is just up the way. I've decided that I'm probably not going to take any more zeros until I reach Canada. I've taken 2 now in 500 and something miles, and yeah, I feel like my body's pretty prepped and there's not really much reason to stop anymore. I've forwarded all my gear to Doug. Hats off to Doug. And yeah, if I need anything I can just ask Doug to mail it, so that's all sorted. So yeah, I'm pretty settled in now, which means no more zeros are really required unless my body needs it. So we'll see. That's the goal. Get to Canada, turn around after slapping that monument, and then I'm heading south. But
Hello, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. I just thought I'd let myself ramble then on the camera. Yeah, I can't remember if I took any zeros or not. I think I took a couple of Neros. For those who don't know, a Nero is when you, I don't know, camp like 5 miles out of a town, and then your next day is 5 miles to get to town, and that's all that you hike, and it goes the other way. So that class is a Nero. But yeah, I don't think I did, now that I remember, but as we go through these videos, we might find out. Let's continue.
between now and then, we've got the whole of Washington, a beautiful state, the evergreen state, and the Northern Cascades. So yeah, looking forward to that. But
I was so excited.
Absolutely impressive. So glad to have got up here and made it to this point so far. So stay tuned.
I knew that Washington was going to be hard, though. It was going to be the hardest stretch for my trip so far. Just because of the elevation gain and loss. It's the steepest grades, I think, outside of the Sierra. And keeping in mind, I hadn't done 1,000 miles yet, and everyone else who'd started in Mexico had hiked all that way, so they were hiking machines, and I was just settling in, really. I just got settled in physically. Mount Hood, taking in the views, epic views around this area on the flanks of Mount Hood. Beautiful weather. The smoke had cleared a little bit up where we were from the fires. See how the water is all quite milky looking? That's glacial melt water. And filtering that wasn't the best idea because it just clogged up my filter twice. I had to keep back flushing it, and eventually I bought a new one. That's the problem with these nanopore technology water filters is once they're clogged, they're clogged. They're really hard to back flush, especially with fine silt like that. Beautiful. Mount Hood's a beast. Really prominent, really pyramid shaped. Oh, these woods. I think I woke up really early this morning. just to get some like cooler miles in. And these woods were really creepy in the fog.
Good morning. It's a very spooky, gloomy, cloudy, foggy morning here in northern Oregon. Woke up at like 4 o'clock and was just like beaming, so really ready to get out of bed. 28-mile day today to Cascade Locks, and that's really exciting because at Cascade Locks you cross the Bridge of the Gods into Washington already. I mean, having to skip that 87 miles around that Lion's Head fire closure, it's only 87 miles. It's like a 26th, less than a 26th of the trail. But it just felt like Oregon was cut so short, even though it's 87 miles. Crazy. But I've still got the whole of Washington. There's supposedly a fire in Mount Rainier National Park, and that's close to the trail, but the trail isn't closed yet. So with a bit of luck, the trail won't close, and I'll get the full state of Washington.
I was just like, if you know that there's a fire and it's like 100% there's a fire, there's nothing you can do about it. You very quickly accept that. But when it's just rumours, and you can't really find anything online, but hikers are saying a lot of news like this, like they call it fear mongering along the trail. And, you know, just stuff like that plays on your mind. And one thing I learned is unless you've seen factual information and proof, just assume it's not there. And there are a few things like that happened on my trip, which will come to light as we go through.
And yeah, on my way to the border. It's pretty exciting. You know, the trail this morning was so spooky. I was kind of like, just mind starts racing, like Sasquatch, black bears, mountain lions. Rumours of a really big mountain lion around here somewhere. Bigger than usual, but I haven't seen him yet.
Again, more rumours. And it's like, that's what made it really spooky. And the Sasquatch thing, my mate Brad, who lives up near Seattle, he told me about this story that he encountered a Sasquatch years ago. it played on my mind.
Anyway, big day today. Gonna camp in Cascade Locks, do a quick resupply in the morning.
I'm not superstitious.
And then cross the bridge into Washington tomorrow.
I don't believe in Sasquatches. Like, if they existed, we would know about it. Like, it would just, the evidence would be so beamingly clear. I loved it when you're in the fog and the clag. It just makes a change because you're in the sunshine. Just the sun shines so often and for so long. And then when you get a change in weather like this, it changes all the colours and your brain has to readjust to something new, and it's quite nice and it's cooler. Oh, you wouldn't want to poke yourself with that, would you? I think I got stuck. You have to do that a lot.
That was an awkward one. Oh.
And I mean a lot. Ducking under, hopping over. But it's very rarely filmed because it's a pain. Like, why would you want to film that? But it's a pain. Electrolytes.
I'm 20 miles into my day. It's only 1:30. That means I've got 8 miles left to Cascade Locks. Bumped into a very nice couple earlier who were doing some trail management, trail cleaning up. They had a massive like manual saw, like one of those old-fashioned.
Oh, I wish I got them filmed. I wish.
On the end. And yeah, they said to go to, what's the name of the burger bar?
I'll put a photograph of
Let's
them
have
up.
a look.
They were such a nice couple.
The East Wind Drive-In Burger Bar. So that's where I'm going to go for dinner.
Oh,
And
so
I'm going
good.
to camp at the campsite. Apparently it's £3 or $3 for the night, and there's a shower. And yeah, and it's Washington tomorrow. See, look at all this. This is all burn. All of that. Not sure which year, but yeah. But then look at this. This beast in the background. Bring it on, Washington.
I think that's Adams. That's Mount Adams. There's Cascade Locks. That over there on the other side of that river is Washington. Because that river marks the border between the states. Now,
Locks.
some of you will be, if you've hiked the PCT before, you'll be screaming at your computer or your phone, saying, why didn't you do Tunnel Falls, which is this iconic waterfall with an amazing tunnel going through it? Anyway, for some, like, I always thought that was in Washington, not in Oregon. It's so obviously so close to Washington that I didn't realize it was on an alternate. It's amazing. I just cannot believe that slipped through my net. So Tunnel Falls is on an alternate, which is a blue line on Guthook / Far Out. And I just stuck to the red line. And then when I got to Cascade Locks, I was talking to other hikers. They were, oh, what did you think of Tunnel Falls? And I was like, where is Tunnel Falls? And they were like, don't say you missed it. And I just walked straight past it. I completely missed it. But I knew that I was going to be coming back down south anyway after hitting Canada. So I thought, do you know what? I will save it and I'll do it another day. So I managed to hike more of the PCT than most people usually do. And I did do Tunnel Falls in the end. You'll see that in a later video. But yes, I missed it. I couldn't believe it. What a silly hiker. 3, 2, 1.
Give me a bit.
So funny. Should have seen my face.
Last night was literally like sleeping in Glastonbury Festival. There were like 50 tents here at freaking Cascade Locks. So many displaced hikers due to the fire. Absolutely nuts. Slept right next to the train track, and like every 40 minutes a huge like kind of freight train would pass by, and it would go on for like 10 minutes. You know how long these freight trains are. So that was crazy. I don't know how I managed to get any sleep. But this morning, woke up and there's this burger shack just down there, and
So
this
good.
lady just pulled up and offered to pay for mine and this other guy's meals. Like, she just pulled up out of nowhere. I was just like, I see your hikers, like, I'll pay for your meals. So that was super nice. The trail definitely provides. Had my first real cappuccino in over
Oh yeah.
just up there. So yeah, definitely don't give that a miss. But one thing that I have missed, 2 things that I've missed. So the first one is the the waterfalls with the tunnel behind the waterfall. It's like up there, and I didn't know, and I went straight past the alternate, straight down here, and completely missed that. So I was so disappointed. I think when I hit the Canadian border, I'm gonna drive back down to Reading, and on the way stop here and go for a little walk up to there and go see that, because that's one of the iconic stops on the PCT. And then the second thing that I've missed is the bus. So I'm waiting for a bus right now to go to a place called Hood River, so I can go to a Walmart and get enough food to send in some boxes to White Pass and Stehekin. And once I've done that, that's the last boxes I will send between here and Canada. I'm really anxious to get that done and get back on the trail now. I mean, this is nice. I'm just sat here chilling, but I don't want to take another 0. I've had 2 already, and I just want to walk. I just want to hike the trail now. So yeah, the next bus is in like an hour. Should be fine. It's my own fault. I was stood on the wrong side of the bloody road.
3 things. I've just had a sip of my water and spilt it on the sofa, on the chair, just a little bit, so that's annoying. Second thing is, all those displaced hikers, so they must have started either at Mexico or further south from where I started, and then the fires happened, and then what they've done is they've all hitched around or got buses up to Cascade Locks, and they were like all of these hikers, there were hundreds of hikers just all crammed into this one little tent site right next to the train track. And another really annoying thing is there was a porta toilet, like a portaloo there, or a porta potty, and everyone was getting up and going for a piss in the night was using this thing, and the door, everyone would just let it, because it was on a spring-loaded hinge, everyone when they left the toilet would just let it slam shut. It was just the most annoying thing, and I had nowhere else to go. I should have just got back on trail, really, but I needed to resupply. But yeah, that was just the worst night's sleep. And then thirdly, the what was I going to say? It was, I can't remember what the third thing is. I might think of it in a minute, but yeah, let's continue. I remember the third thing was that woman who bought us the burgers. It was just like so random but wonderful. She saw that we were hiking the PCT. She loved it, and just wanted to gift us. And it's amazing, like how people, they see someone doing like an insanely, well, supposedly insanely difficult thing to, like, in most people's opinion, and people like to take care of a traveler. There's something about someone traveling under their own steam, like, that people just gravitate towards, and people just want to help. And for me, I'd saved up money. I had money to buy all of this stuff, and it took me some time and a few times of this happening for me to get used to people offering and just being grateful for their gift, because it gives them more if you accept it kindly. If you're just like, no, don't worry. It's better to just accept it. I wouldn't take money from somebody. Somebody did offer me money because I think they thought that I was homeless, but I wouldn't take money. But if someone wants to buy me a burger or give me a ride or something like that, it's just, people just want to be kind and give. But the important thing is to remember to pay it forward. So if you see a thru-hiker hitchhiking, pick them up and help them out in whatever way you can. Obviously, safety first with hitchhiking, but yes, pay it forward, folks. What are we doing?
Going to Hood River to Walmart.
To Walmart.
Yeah, 0.
You're taking the 00, and you're crushing the miles in Walmart. What are you going to buy?
Lots of food, price signs.
Nice.
Big jars of Nutella.
He's a nice guy. What
about you guys?
Same for us.
Nice. I love Walmart because you can, under one roof, buy a pump action shotgun, some tires, and some milk.
Those guys, I was leapfrogging them for a while, and they got really beat by the mosquitoes around the Three Sisters. They were just sat there like, this is a lot. For those of you who are wondering, and if you know who John Zahorian is, no, that is not John Zahorian. Everyone kept teasing him, saying, hey, you look like John Z. John Z is another hiker YouTuber. You just got married. Congratulations, John Z, if you're watching. I doubt you're watching. But he's the spitting image. I'll put a photo up. There we go. My favourite ones were the macadamia nut ones because it felt like it tasted like a dessert, like a proper dessert. White chocolate and macadamia nut. And there's one with cinnamon in, which I liked.
All right. I've restocked. I've sent packages. I've done everything I need to do. I've had so many energy drinks to keep me going today. But finally, I'm heading in to Washington. Boom. Let's go. Bridge of the Gods. Let's do it.
Excited.
This is it. Crossing over into Washington. You can see the road down here. All these cars lining up, getting ready to cross the bridge. Those of you who've watched that film Wild will have remembered this is where Reese Witherspoon ended her hike. 1,000 miles. So yeah, it's coming up.
Two things. A lot of the hikers who started in Mexico, by the time they get to this point, they're like, like one of the hardest parts, but one of the most beautiful coming up for them. But it's so close to the end. Whereas for me, I had barely started, I felt. And I was full of beans and full of energy and properly settled in, feeling great. Hadn't lost too much weight just yet. And yeah, just couldn't wait. It just seemed so beautiful from what I'd seen in pictures. Second thing is, a lot of people give that film Wild with Reese Witherspoon a lot of flack. But I think any film about the Pacific Crest Trail is a good film. And if it inspires at least one person to go and do it, then I'm all for it. And I love that film. I've watched it like 7 times. If I'm feeling ill and I just want to watch a cool film about the Pacific Crest Trail. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, Wild with Reese Witherspoon, 2014. Bridge of the Gods. So yeah, Cheryl Strayed, who that film is based on, this is where she ended her 1,000-mile hike. And it's quite a monumental place for PCT hikers. Walking back to get the camera. Yeah, it's just a massive milestone for most. And you get this big PCT emblem. You walk over the bridge. And it's a big moment. Even for me, it was a big moment, you know. But I hadn't finished California. I'd only done a small chunk of California, and I hadn't finished Oregon, so I hadn't really completed any states yet. But luckily, Washington hiked every mile of that up until the border, which you'll see coming up. So when you get to that station at the front, someone will chaperone you to where you need to walk, and they'll ask traffic to slow down and stuff like that. But there's no walkway per se. So you have to be really careful when you're walking across that thing.
I just cannot believe I'm walking over the Bridge of the Gods! Woo! Just look at this! Into Washington, where you go?
I really had to let go of the fact that I hadn't started in Mexico here, because it is a monumental moment if you'd started in Mexico to get to your last state. But for me, it was technically it was my third state, my last state, but flip-flopping all of that mental architecture of the trail, so to speak, is just, you have to really let go of that and just focus on hiking as many miles of the PCT as you can and enjoying it. Look at that huge river. I was still chuffed to be there. It was just great to be there. But I was so tired, hadn't slept, resupplied, bounced some boxes ahead, had a really busy day, and I was just like, I just want to get back on trail. If you watch back to the start, my documentary series, you'll see how I cut all this together and like getting all these individual shots. It's a really different feel to these videos. Boom! Washington, baby! Bridge of the Gods. Got my bag of Ruffles. Russell's Ruffles. Loved those. They were sour cream and chive. Just tried to get a shot of me walking under that sign. And then all this traffic came along. I think I was stood there waiting for like however long this is, but thinking, oh my God, is this going to clear? Am I going to get this shot? I did say that these videos are uncut, folks. There we go. Get the shot. And there we go, into Washington. I don't think I used this shot in the end. But there we go. Third state of the trip. Onward to Canada. About 3 weeks to go. And there we have it. That was Mount Hood to the Bridge of the Gods. I really enjoyed doing that video. If you enjoyed watching it, tickle that like button. Make sure you subscribe for more videos just like this coming up in this series. I've got way more different video ideas coming up as well. Head over to my Patreon. Link is in the description if you want to buy me a coffee. £3. And yeah, I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.